School Lyceum Jetigen, teacher Матисакова Гүлзар Asilovna. Hello dear friends, how are you? How do you feel yourself? Are you ready for the lesson? Yes. So let's start our lesson. For the first, let's guess our theme. Let's try to read this word. You see the number 2. If you delete the last 2 letters of 2, you get the letter T. T plus O, it's 2. The next, what can you see here? Yes, guys, you're right. This is a ball. And if you delete 3 letters from the last 3 letters from ball, you get the letter B. Then, what can you see here? What is this? Yes, you're right. This is an egg. And if you delete from egg the last 2 letters, you get the letter E. Together with B, we read B. And or the next. Let's try to read this word. The number 9. From the number 9, if you delete the last 3 letters, you get the letter N. N plus O. Then, if you delete from 2 again the last 2 letters, you get the letter T. Let's try to read. What word is it? Yes, you're right. This is the word not. What's this? Yes, this is a car. What kind of car is it? It's a taxi. And if you delete the last 3 letters from taxi, you got again the letter T. T plus O, 2. What can you see here, my dears? Yes, of course, it's a beach. And if you delete from beach the last 3 letters, you get B. B plus E, we get the word B. Now, let's try to read the theme of our lesson. To be or not to be? Okay. The theme of our lesson is what? Yes, you are right. To be or not to be. Now, guys, let's read our objectives. Our today's objectives are: read and listen to a biography of Shakespeare. Listen and identify Shakespeare's plays. Discuss the words of Shakespeare. Now, guys, I want you to open your students' books. Lesson 10C, page 96. Okay. Today we will talk about William Shakespeare. What do you know about William Shakespeare? I know that you know who is William Shakespeare, but what do you know about William Shakespeare? Okay, guys. The first task is for you. You can write on your exercise copybooks. Use words below to make the titles of 5 plays by William Shakespeare. Have you seen any of them on TV or in the cinema or theater? Look, guys, and Caesar, Cleopatra, Antony, Hamlet, Juliet, Julius, King Romeo. From these words, you should find the titles of 5 plays by William Shakespeare. Read the text. What do these numbers refer? First, I want you to look at your books. Exercise 2. First, read these numbers: 8, 15, 18, 30, 37, 154, 52. During reading or during listening, you should pay attention to these numbers from the text. Okay, let's start. William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is probably the most famous playwright in history. He was born on 23rd of April 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon in England. He was one of 8 brothers and sisters. His father, John Shakespeare, was a successful businessman. William went to school in Stratford and learned Latin and Greek, but he didn't go to university. At the age of 15, he went straight to work in his father's business. When he was 18, he met and fell in love with Anne Hathaway. She was 8 years older than him. They got married in November 1582, and 6 months later, their daughter Susanna was born. In 1585, they had twins, Hamnet and Judith. Little is known about the following 7 years of his life. We only know that he moved to London, leaving Anna and the children in Stratford, and that by 1592 he was writing plays and working as an actor. His plays were very popular, and he made a lot of money. In 1597, he bought a big house in Stratford for his family, but he stayed in London for a further 13 years. He continued to write and act, and also bought a theater. In 1611, he finally retired and moved back to Stratford to live in the house he had bought. In total, Shakespeare wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. Sonnets consist 14-line poems. Some of his love poems are addressed to a married woman, and some of them are addressed to a young man. Nobody knows the identity of these 2 people. Shakespeare died in Stratford on his birthday, on 23rd of April, 1616, and was buried in the church where he had been christened 52 years earlier. Okay guys, Now it's time to do exercise 3. Complete the sentence about Shakespeare using one word. You should only use only one word from the text. Do this task on your book, and let's go to the next exercise. The next exercise is listening. Listen to the interviews. Which plays are they studying at school? Let's listen.
Lesson 10C, exercises 4 and 5. I'm on the streets of Stratford-upon-Avon, where Shakespeare was born and died about 400 years ago. I want to ask some young people what they think of Shakespeare. Hello, excuse me, can I ask you a couple of questions about Shakespeare? Yes. Okay. Have you ever seen a Shakespeare play? Yeah. I saw Hamlet last year. Our whole class went to see it. We're studying it at school, you see. What's your opinion of Shakespeare? What do you think of his plays? He's too difficult. I mean, the language is too hard to understand. It's so old-fashioned. I hate it. I just can't understand what it's all about. Okay, thanks for that. Excuse me, can I ask you, what do you think of Shakespeare? Do you find him very difficult?
Well, yes. The language in Shakespeare's plays is difficult, of course. But I have a really good teacher at school who makes it a lot easier. And once you understand the language, you understand how fantastic the stories are. I mean, for example, Hamlet is really action-packed and very exciting.
Have you seen any Shakespeare plays?
Yes, I've seen Romeo and Juliet. We're studying it at school. I've seen King Lear too. You have to see them at the theatre. That's how they should be seen.
Okay, thanks very much. Excuse me, I'm just asking young people about Shakespeare. What do you think of Shakespeare? Are his plays interesting? Yes, I think so. I mean, he writes about important topics. Important topics? What, for example? Things like love and hate, politics, society, that kind of thing. I also think the people in his plays are interesting. Yeah, the characters are very interesting. Are you studying any of his plays at school? Yes, we're reading Julius Caesar. In fact, I'm going to see it this evening. That's why I'm in Stratford. Have you seen any other Shakespeare plays at the theatre? Yes, I saw Romeo and Juliet in London last summer. It was set in New York, and the actors' clothes were all modern, and there were gangsters with guns. It was great, because I could understand what was happening. I really began to understand what Shakespeare was trying to say.
Okay, that's the end of the audio. And if you won't understand from first listening, you can listen again. And the next time, listen again to these interviews and choose the correct options. Look. First question is, Leon went to see a Shakespeare play with his parents, English teacher, classmates. Leon thinks Shakespeare's language is amazing, too difficult, quite modern. Maya thinks the stories in Shakespeare's plays are exciting, slow, difficult to follow. Maya thinks the best way to enjoy the plays is to watch with a teacher, in a theater, on film. The fifth question. Riley finds Shakespeare's plays interesting because of the topics and characters. And the last question, where did Riley see Romeo and Juliet? In New York, in Stratford, in London. Okay, now it's time to next exercise. Complete the sentence with the words below. Types of literature: plays, poems, novels, short stories. You should complete this sentence with the correct word. 1. A playwright writes what? Plays, poems, novels, short stories. 2. A novelist writes plays, poems, novels, short stories. 3. A poet writes plays, poems, novels, short stories. In order to complete this sentence, you should choose correctly from these 4 words. And after reading questions, Shakespeare was born in, try to find answer correctly. You should write these questions and answers on your exercise copybooks. The next question is, Shakespeare was born in, Shakespeare married, Shakespeare was the father of how many children? Okay, look here. What is the first name of Shakespeare? The English for украшение строптивой is, you should find from here the answer, the translation of this work. How many plays were written by Shakespeare? You can look through from the text on your books. Shakespeare was born in Shakespeare died on the Shakespeare got married at the age of and the following questions will be not from your book. Remember, not from your book. In order to find the answers to the following questions, you need to search the internet. So I didn't read the question. The question is, finish the line to be or not to be. You should finish these lines. Shakespeare wrote, how many sonnets did he write? Shakespeare's tragedy is entitled Hamlet, Prince of Juliet's parents wanted her to marry How old was Juliet? The questions are very interesting for you, I hope, and you will find the correct answers from the net. The next question is, at the end of the play, Julia At the end of the play, Romeo Hope the lesson was interesting for you and clear for you. And the questions also for me are interesting, and I hope for you also will be interesting, and you will find the answers from the internet correctly and send me. And now it's time to take your homework. Your home tasks are to complete workbook on page 92, exercises 1 through 4. To find the answers to the questions. To finish the lines of to be or not to be. And the extra task is for you on your weekend, on Saturday or on Sunday. I want you to watch any plays of Shakespeare. You can watch Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, any place you would like to watch. Then you should tell about the plays you watch. So guys, I want you to draw 3 columns and write. First, in the first column you should write I knew, the things I knew from this lesson. And in the second column you should write today I learned. The things, you will write the things today you learned. And in the third column you should write the things you want to know. The lesson is over. Goodbye, guys.